Welcome back, everybody. This is David at the Worst YouTube Channel Ever. Got a lot of weird, kind of oddball castings for us to look at today. Just had a good week of finding some interesting stuff. Some of it you will have seen, some of it you may not have. Let's take a look at this Hot Wheels premium that came out recently, the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. This is a gorgeous car. We're going to crack it open and we'll take a look at it. Here's the others in the series. If you haven't seen the series by now, this is the Boulevard. You've got the Skyline, the really cool, almost initial D type 86. It's not the Entertainment Series vehicle, but let's crack it open and take a look at it. And we'll talk a little bit about the car because this was a new car for me. I know a lot of you probably know all about this car, the history of it. I didn't, and I was intrigued by it just because of how beautiful it is. So on this one, you get a metal body, a metal base, you get real riders, and this is a new casting from Mattel, from Hot Wheels, and I think they did it really well. Looking at pictures of the real car, I will say the edges of the lamps actually made up the outside of the fender, so it was a lot prettier design and execution on the real car than what Hot Wheels is able to do in this scale. The lenses of the lamps actually made the edge of the fender, and it was a seamless, smooth body line. So what do we know about the Stradale? If you're like me, you had never seen this vehicle or heard of it before this Hot Wheels came out. You can see some cool paint work for some real rear tail lamps. A little bit of black paint right here on the back. License plate 1969. Great badge on the rear. Vent is decked out in chrome trim, as is all the windows. I'm not going to touch it too much. I don't want to ruin them off. Rub them off, really. So did you guys know this was one of the first supercars out there? One of the fastest commercially made cars when it was produced. This thing is a 1969 Stradale. In Italian means road going, and referred a lot to vehicles that were race cars that had been made street legal. So that was a term that was kind of thrown around for this type of project and endeavor. This was one of the first production cars to have dihedral, or the butterfly doors that open up so distinctly. This thing got up to 160 miles an hour, and according to the Worst YouTube Ever research department, these things are, upwards of $10 million if you could even find one. They are never traded, never sold, just extremely rare. And I wanted to bring out this Tomica Premium. This is the first thing I thought of when I saw that Stradale, was this Ferrari 246 GT. Just a lot of similarities. Maybe not. You may not think so, but I did. Anyway, this is a Tomica Premium, the midline version. We'll put this here in the background. I don't want to steal any of the Stradale's thunder. So what's next? Let's look at a Divco. What the heck is a Divco? This is a great offering by Matchbox in their Moving Parts series. Let's take a look and see what it's all about. So what does it say on here? The Detroit Industrial Vehicle Company. And as you might have ascertained, that is what Divco stands for. This is a real vehicle. These were made back in the early to late 1920s, all the way up until 1986. Divco was making trucks. They were mainly delivery trucks built by, as you see, the Detroit Industrial Vehicle Company. This is a milk truck version, and it's just super cool. Had a sliding door on the side. This has a blue interior. It's got a stub for a wheel. This is kind of got the interior that you would see in the what is that delivery? Almost like the ice cream truck for Hot Wheels. but this thing is just super cool. Divco is actually the name of the automaker. Metal body, plastic base, one post. I guess there'll be one in there. I don't believe these doors open. They don't. And this door does not slide. Regardless, really cool little milk truck from the late 20s. I'm going to show this Johnny Lightning here. This gremlin is a release 1 of 3004. As you can see, 1971 AMC Gremlin X. This version that Johnny Lightning has done, you can see the gold on the lift gate back here, gold accents all over it. Front is totally done, all lamp detail, metal body, metal base. Fantastic little car by Johnny Lightning. So this is a version of an actual Gremlin Award winner, which you can see pictures of in the background at the 2018 Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, which is the MCACN. This thing won the Concours Gold Award as well as a Platinum pick. Now what that means, I don't know. I'm just looking, as you can see here on the side. This is an award-winning car, and it is super cool, and I think Johnny Lightning nailed it. Look at the trim on the wheel wells. Look at the wheels. Goodyear on the side. Really a great example of a gremlin. I'm going to put this in my 500 subscriber giveaway. We're almost to 400, so I don't think it'll be too long, but I'm just going to put it over here in the pile. It grows every time I throw one in there, and in a few videos from now we will take a look and see what all's in there, kind of hype it up a little bit. Let's take a look at this 75 Challenge Matchbox Ford Probe GT. My favorite store, Diecast Extreme in Coleman, Alabama, got a new shipment of Matchbox in and had a lot of these challenge packages. I didn't know what that was. Looked at it on the Matchbox Wikipedia or Wiki fan page. So the challenge was in 1997, Matchbox did a gold version of all of the vehicles that year. So there were 75 vehicles, and there were 10,000 versions of each model from that year done in gold paint. So I guess the challenge was to collect all 75 of them. There was another contest that went along with it where you could take pictures of yourself buying. You had to take 5 cars, a picture of you with 5 of them, mail it in, and there was a possibility of you winning a gold version. I guess the Super Chase piece that year was a 57 T-Bird. So kind of a neat contest. Got some fan involvement and interaction with Matchbox. Let's look at this Ford Probe, a casting that I don't have in my collection or until now. So I'll try and find a few more versions. This gold, honestly, for this year and this time period in Matchbox might be as tame as they came. This Ford Probe GT appears to be, what I can tell, like a 93 or 94 version. This is a metal body, plastic base. You can see 159 scale, a little bit bigger than typical. No detail whatsoever. All you get is gold paint. You do get rear view mirrors on both, as well as a rear view mirror in the windscreen. And that's about it. Not much to it. Just needed the car itself for my collection. Ford Probes were 88 to 1997, if you have never heard of them. A lot of Mazda influence on the design of this vehicle. They were collaborating with Ford at the time. It was, according to Wikipedia, this thing was made to replace the Ford Capri in Europe. and went all the way back to 1979, the design process for it. So that is a Ford Probe GT. Let's look at a couple Tomicas now. Saw these loose, had to grab them because I love interesting cars. When I saw this thing, I mean, I knew it was Japanese. I thought it was something from the 1960s based on these lines and these features on it. So this is a Mitsuoka Butte. You can look at the base here. You get a metal body, metal base. 161 scale. It's got a 2005 trademark on the base. Classic Tommy wheels. Beautiful car, beautiful lines. Look at that grille. So you immediately you look at this grille and you think Jaguar, and that is by design. Guys, they made these things to look like a Jaguar Mark II. They started making the Buttes all the way back in 1993. This version, I believe, is a K12, which would have been 2005 or later, and you can tell that some of the earlier versions had a more blocky, squarish rear cabin to it. This one being rounded off the way it is probably 2005 or later. And that's a 2005 vehicle being designed to look like something from Jaguar from a lot earlier, in my opinion. It's a beautiful car. You've got a tan interior, you've got a little bit of chrome, you got very little suspension. I think it's just a wobble from the axles being super thin. Cool car. I just love it. And I saw another Japanese version, or excuse me, Japanese car while I was picking that one up, and had to grab this little Daihatsu Mira as well. These things are everywhere, all over the world. You guys have already seen it, I'm sure. This is a right-hand drive. A lot of window trim around the windows. Black weather stripping effect on it. This thing has an opening lift gate. That is the opening part feature on this one. Super small car. These things are also known as a domino or a charade. This one looks to be a 2006 later version as well. Some of the older ones really had a strong mini design element to them. It was interesting. I mean, they just looked like the front grille looked exactly like a Mini. So you can see where they're getting their influences from. Nonetheless, it's a pretty cool little car. I liked it. Ran across this series of Matchbox I had no idea about either. Collector's Choice. So this is from 1994. These were limited to 10,000 each. The best one I could find of the bunch was this Jaguar XK120. You see it's number 8. There were 120 of them. No, I'm sorry, there were not 120. There was 24 of them. I'm sorry, I was looking at the Jaguar. And the set, you can find the whole set, honestly, on eBay for about $100 to $120. Each one, you know, you're talking maybe $3 to $10 max. But let's take a look. If I can get this thing out, here we go. So I don't think I have an XK. Maybe I do. I'm sure I do. This one, it came with the glass separated, but you can put it right in nice and easy. These are metal bodies and metal bases. This is a 157 scale. It's got chrome trim around the cabin, right-hand drive, kind of a half-hearted effort on the interior. It's got some designs in the seats to make it look like leather. You get a little bit of chrome on the rear bumpers. Nice little dab of paint for a taillight. I don't know what NUB means, but you get kind of almost Mercedes looking stars on the lamps here, and then you got some indicator lights in yellow. So, really cool little roadster. This thing, they started making these back in 48. The XK, the 120 in the name, refers to the top speed of 120 miles an hour. So this car was made out of aluminum, and it was one of the fastest production cars as well. Just like the Stradale when it came out. This thing was a fast little car. One more left, and this is going to be my favorite one. I'm a sucker for Euro stuff. Check out this East German police van. A company called Grell put out some of these vehicles. I can't even remember. I'll see if there's a date on this card. It wasn't too long ago, maybe early 2000s. Is there anything on there? No. But I confirmed in a previous video that the run on these was about 1,600 vehicles, so it's a pretty limited edition. This is a Barkas. Barkas is the name of the automaker. Barkas made vans in East Germany from 61 to 91. This is a B1000. This thing was a cool 45 horsepower. I'm going to go ahead and crack this. This card is so mangled. And I've got another version of a Volga here. Let's see if it'll stand up. I've got that Volga on a great card, so I'll leave it open, but let's crack this one. There's 3 in this set. On this card, 1, 2, 3. It says number 3 is the M2410, but up here in this card, that has number 6 on it. So maybe they re-released it. Either way, we'll look at it. It's too cool not to look at. Again, this is a van used by the East German police, Volkspolizei, back when East Germany was divided, or Germany was divided. You get a lot of detail. You get some chrome for headlamps, chrome on the grille, indicator lights, cool little period correct warning light or siren light, whatever you want to call it. Then you've got the Volkspolizei on the side here, coming around on the rear. A little bit of paint for your tail lamps, metal body, plastic base. There's your Grell, held together by one post, and then on the back it's pretty typical, slides into the body there. So this Barkas van, this was, the German People's Police, Volkspolizei, pretty exclusive to East Germany in this deco, of course, obviously. And I read a story where these things were sometimes disguised as food delivery trucks so that the Stasi secret police could just yank people right off the street. So really cool stuff. So glad I have this in my collection. These Eastern Euro pieces, I'll never ever pass one up. And hope you enjoyed these. Hope you learned something today. I really enjoy this assortment of vehicles. I got another dealer exclusive video coming later this week. I received a package from England, and it's one of the most premier automakers who had a 164 diecast available. I'll share that with you later this week. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.